and today we're gonna see the step-by-step operation of emergency steering. So let's get into the steering gear room. Here we go. So this is a 4-ram steering gear, ram type, and here's the walkway, and what you see over here is the automatic greasing pump, which is timed and the grease is filled up, and here is the indication of how much grease is inside it. When the level goes down, we got to fill it up again. And here's the tank, oil storage tank, and it is in the system. And here's your rudder stock and the rams, the wraps and slide arrangement for operating the rudder, and the steering gear pump and the motor, number 1 and number 2. So here is the panel that has a lot of buttons and indications. One has to be very familiar with this so that he doesn't operate the wrong one. And this is basically an alarm panel which shows what are the alarms and which valve is on and off, and the motor is on auto. Here we go with the emergency steering procedure. Open the autopilot control box 1 and 2, and here's the box, the location is shown, and turn off the power switch, which is on usually. We have to put it off and start the steering gear number 1 and number 2 motor by pushing the push buttons either in high or low speed, preferably low speed first and after that high speed, and operate the lever, the servo motor lever, and once you operate, the rudder will start to move. Let's see how it is done. So the pump is already running, which is on high speed, and I check the amperes and the indication is high run, and I'm opening the panel now and I'm putting this switch to off. Yes, that's right. So when I put that switch to off, what happens is the telemotor transmitter and the receiver are disconnected. The telemotor transmitter, which is on the bridge, and the receiver in the steering gear gets disconnected, which means there will be no signal from the bridge to the steering gear room. You got to definitely isolate the signals coming from the bridge when you're going to test emergency steering gear. So the next step would be to operate the lever as per the bridge command. So let's say the bridge is about to give orders. We have 2 modes or 3 modes of communication depending upon the system, but 2 independent means of communication is necessary from the bridge to the steering gear room. I put this lever on the servo motor to port side, and you can see the rudder moving towards the port side, which is being shown here. Now it moves to 20-degree port, and I stop it at 25-degree port. Now let's put it towards the starboard side. Let's say the master wants to turn the ship towards starboard and he orders 10 or 5 degrees starboard, and I put it, and the rudder starts to move towards starboard, and when it reaches 10 or 15 degrees as per the bridge orders, I stop the lever. I release the lever so that there will be no more movement of rudder. Here is the mechanism. The lever is connected to the steering gear pump, and one important point everybody has to note is the lever, the job of the lever, or what it exactly does is it alters the stroke of the pump. The swash plate is being positioned accordingly, like either starboard side or port side. The swash plate position is being altered directly by the lever. So now I'm going to put it towards port side. Let's see how it responds coming back to port side. I'll zoom the camera. Here it is. From the starboard side, it starts to move towards port side. It crosses the midship and it starts to move towards port. So the same applies to the other steering gear motor pump, and you got to ensure the pump is on before you do this emergency steering operation. And there might be other methods of emergency steering, like pressing the solenoid valves, which does the same function as what the lever does. So that's it about emergency steering.